Good afternoon, how are you? Let's do a video. It's a really nice day today. I thought I would talk to you about things that I've learned from putting on the Fruit Festival in the UK, which is an event that I run every year. I could ask you to go to the website and all that, but I'm just asking you to watch this video. This has been a really interesting journey since I started that event, and it shows how things evolve and develop and why things are the way they are. It's really taught me almost everything about the world. That's a really crazy statement to make, but putting on this Fruit Festival has taught me almost everything that I look at now in terms of the world and how everything works and comes to be, and how humans are the way they are and everything else. That's how profound it is when you... I'm using the phrase run your own business, but that's not the right phrase. And the reason that I'm going to say that, but if you run your own business, it's the same thing. Because the Fruit Festival wasn't started as a business. It wasn't really a thought in mind, and I'm not a businessman. It wasn't an idea like, here's a market, here's an opportunity, here's a way to make money. It wasn't approached with that at all. It was approached with an enthusiasm to create something. It's more of a creative act than anything else. And that came from being at a number of events for me, and these fruit festivals, and thinking really that there is a gap there, that no one was putting on an event in the UK, and it seemed to make sense to do it. It made sense as well because Doug Graham, who's one of the leaders of the movement in a sense, not even in a sense, one of the leaders of the movement in reality, lived in the UK, so they kind of all married up. And there was loads of people that I knew that were interested in it and interested in this lifestyle, that wanted to come together, so there was a need there. So the idea came about, and the idea was probably actually put to me by someone else years before the event actually happened. A girl called Pilar, who ran an 80-10-10 event in London, and loads of people turned up. For some reason she didn't turn up, but loads of other people turned up, but she didn't turn up. So there's a bunch of people there, and that's where I met one of my good friends, Simon, and a lot of other people actually. But first time I met Simon, who you might have seen in some of my videos, and he does the videos for the Fruit Festival, and he is called the Healthy Hippie, and sometimes, or the Healthy Hitchhiker sometimes on YouTube, so you can check him out. And I remember her saying, should we do a festival in the UK? And she'd mentioned some land or something that her family had access to, and I said yes, and would have quite happily helped her out with it. But she didn't continue to work on that idea, and a couple of years later we did a camp and brought people together, and something in me, this kind of confidence, grew to put on a bigger event. And because I was probably part of the Woodstock community and the online community, maybe I wanted to kind of impress my friends a little bit, or do something for them, or do something for the community, or whatever. I don't know what possessed me, but made me want to do something, give back to the world in some way. So the Fruit Festival came together, and I asked some people if they would work on it, and it seemed like a bit of an insurmountable task. Like, how would we do this? And at many stages I could have quit and stopped and turned back, but I kept on moving forward and trying to find different answers to all the questions and problems that were coming up. A good way of approaching any kind of problem is to break it down and teach it if it's constituent parts, and then work on those different parts individually. So when it comes to putting on a festival or putting on an event, then you've only got realistically a few things you need to think about. You need a venue. You're going to need a supplier for your food. At the end of the day, the event's got to have some reason for being on, so some kind of, obviously if you're running a fruit festival, then you know what that is. It's an event that's promoting a fruit-based raw vegan diet. So you're probably going to need some entertainment, some educators or something at the event that's actually going to appeal to people for them to actually be there, other than just meeting other raw vegans. And you need to get the message out there to lots of people. And so there's all sorts of different little bits. And probably the hardest bit out of all of those things, because what you think is hard for a lot of you that are thinking there must be a lot of work putting on a festival, and you're thinking about the food, and you're thinking about the venue and the organisation and the scheduling and all that stuff. But believe me, that's all the easy stuff. The hardest thing out of all of that, the absolute hardest thing, is getting people to turn up. Getting people to come to your event is going to be is the thing that basically will define if it's successful or not, and it is the hardest thing to do. It's the potentially the most expensive part of it, and the biggest risk involved. And the process by which you get people to come along is something that I really didn't expect to be so hard. I just foolishly and naively thought there's all these people that love the raw vegan diet in the UK, there's so many people that are interested in it, and we're just going to put this out there and loads of people are just going to turn up. If you build it, they will come, which is a way of going broke in any business or a way of leaving yourself at a huge degree of risk. You can never underestimate how difficult it will be to actually get people to commit to come to your event. You're asking for people to take time out of their life, you're often asking for them to travel, you're asking for them to pay, you're asking for them to be around people that they do not know, and go to an event that they've never been to, and they've never met you before, so they don't even know who you are. So if you think about that, think about the challenge in surmounting all of that. And the way that you surmount that is essentially you need to have some people at the event who inspire some kind of trust, and that's what people like Doug Graham and some of the well-known people that have come to our events, people know who they are, or they've read the books, or they're interested in coming to meet that person. So that gives them a bit of confidence that they to come. They feel that it's a legitimate event. So the marketing and the sales part of it is something that I've spent quite a long time learning about, and I'm not just someone that's I can honestly say I'm not just someone that's read about it and theorised about it. It's stuff that I've executed and implemented and tried and and failed, and different things, and still got a lot of things to learn about it. But it is very important to understand all that. It's important to have a good understanding of where you are financially and numbers wise, and the event wasn't started as a way to make money. It was always the thought at first was the thought at first was not to lose money really, and that would have been seen as a great success. But it's not really practical to do that, because you put yourself at too much risk of losing money, and then you spend time working on something, losing your own money into it, and then if that happens, then every single small concern you feel like it makes you feel like you don't want to do it anymore because you're spending your time, you're spending your money, and people are like complaining at you, and you're thinking, well, what else do you want from me here? So all of that needs to be run properly. But as I said, it taught me everything. It taught me a lot about life. There's a reason that every organisation, every business runs in a certain way. There's a reason that marketing and sales processes are the way that they are. There's a reason that communication is the way it is in business and outside. There's reasons for why things are done in every single way. It's all it's life, and it's how things work, and it's how people are, and especially it's how people are, it's how humans are. But if you want to do something impactful in the world, you need to learn these lessons, and you need to learn how difficult it is, how hard it is to create something from nothing and even make it into a small success or a minor success. It takes a lot, but it's not just the actual work of it. It's not just the actual work of the processes of work. It's you as a person going through the emotions that come up, because you won't believe the emotions that come up when you do your own thing, put on your own event, and you're the person that everything goes back to. If anything goes wrong, it's on your head. Financially, if things go wrong, you're going to pay for it. And you have to be willing to take all those risks. But it's a fantastic experience if you're willing to go through it and become a different person on the outside. But it pushes you and pressures you to become a lot more effective, a lot more organised, to be a lot more prepared. And to some extent, some of the time over the last few years, I've been a bit I've been lucky at times, I think, and I've lived off my wits and my I don't know, just I've been able to get by, been able to make things work and things like that. But as the event grows and gets bigger, it's really important to be really properly organised, prepared, and to know exactly what you're doing and when. And as people have always commented that the event's well organised, so that's been good. But we have good people that come and great people that work on it, so that's been an important thing. It's been really important. But I don't necessarily encourage you to do it or not, but you can certainly always ask my advice on it. I think it's if you've been through it, then you see the world in a different way. You really see things in a different way, and it's been good. So that's a lot of the things the Fruit Festival. I don't know if I've fully explained what the Fruit Festival's taught me, but it's changed me in a huge amount as a person, and I hope to be able to potentially grow it, run more events, and make spreading this message one of the main purposes of my life, in a sense. So it started to rain out here. I'd like to get your comments and questions below. If anything didn't make sense, please feel to ask a question and I'll maybe make another video about it. But I hope some of this has been of interest to you. I'd like to hear your thoughts in exchange. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Speak to you later. Subscribe to the channel for more videos from me. Bye.